Hey, what's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here for Adorama TV, coming from the Oculus right here in New York, an iconic location because Nikon threw this in my hands. This is the 17-28 f2.8, which is joining their 28-75 2.8. So you got two 2.8 lenses here that are really budget friendly, but they don't sacrifice on the quality. So when you have a nice wide angle zoom, it gives you a little bit more versatility than having a super distorted wide angle or a wide angle that'll keep on making you want to step back or wish you were wider. You have a little bit more of a creative freedom to kind of see what's going on. That's really good for places like the Oculus, where I'm dealing with all these crazy lines and getting things straight and seeing what I want to have in frame or exaggerated. So I'm finding it to give me a pretty clean image here, and that's because, well, there's actual Nikon ED glass elements in here, extra low dispersion. It's really nice glass, as you would expect from Nikon. You also got your coatings, the usual, but it's also never changes shape. When you zoom this thing, it's staying the same size, and you have internal focusing, which is pretty standard these days, but it's kind of important if you're going to use it for video work or anything with circular polarizer, that when you spin the filter, it actually changes the look of the shot. Well, if it doesn't spin when it's focusing, you get to keep that consistent, and that's key. Very lightweight. We're talking about a lens that is just easy to carry around, and at wide angle, it's really nice for street work, right? You're just walking around capturing that wide angle view, and at 2.8, you're ready for pretty much any situation, whether you want shallow depth of field or you want to be shooting in lower light situations. Now, one of the things I found nice and versatile about this was the close focus being under 8 inches. So you're not worrying about, oh, I'm too close, it can't focus. It'll just focus. Now, when it comes to wide angle lenses, I'm worried about a couple things. One, can I put a front filter on it? Because sometimes they're so bowled out being wide, you can't screw on just a regular filter. Well, you can with this lens because it's got a 67 front filter thread, same as the 28-75. So it's a nice pairing. You don't have to double buy your filters. If you have a polarizer you like to use, you can just take it off of one lens, put on the other as you change lenses. Really nice and convenient, right? You don't want to keep on buying the same filter over and over again because you need a different size. It's just there and ready for you to use. It's also got the control ring. So if you're not going to use it as a focus ring, you can program it for things for exposure control. You know, EV plus and minus, your aperture, your ISO. You can actually program it to that ring, which is really nice and convenient. If you're in that headspace where you want to have your aperture here, really cool. I do the EV compensation usually because I really want to have that on the fly without changing too much of my settings. I can just do that and see what I'm getting, especially for things with architecture where sometimes you want it silhouetted, sometimes you don't. So I put it on the Z6 II, and I had the virtual horizon going on just to make sure I was straight. But one of the fun things I like doing is hitting the record button on the Z6 II allows me to get rid of all the overlay, the graphic interface of the screen, so I can actually see the image as it will be recorded, which is great for things in the corners, on the edges. You can really see if you're straight, see what you're including, excluding, all that kind of stuff. So it was a really nice fit for this. And there's some channels out there that like to check out the sun stars on a lens, so I figured let me do that myself before you guys jump over to that channel. So I took some shots closed down between f11 and f22 just to see that sun and what kind of points you guys get, because that's super important, Anyway, it's a really nice addition to the Z lineup, and it's a nice affordable addition to a 2.8 setup that, I would be crazy not to think there's a Trinity about to happen here. I can't say that for sure. I have no actual information on that, but it seems like it's gearing up that way to give you guys easy entry points as far as price goes, to still give you 2.8 performance lenses that are lightweight, not cumbersome, and just easy, right? That's the thing. I mean, a Z5 with a set of these lenses and you're kind of good to go is a really great entry-level system. So if you guys have any questions for me about my use with the new 17-28 2.8 from Nikon for the Z mount, hit me with a question down below. I will do my best to answer it. Don't forget to like, share, hit subscribe, plus the bell to get notified when we put up more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.